Hello and welcome to Women in Mobility, an initiative by Mobility Outlook. After her education in instrumentation and applied electronics in Thiruvananthapuram, Latha Chembrakalam joined BHEL as an R&D engineer in Bangalore. She moved up her ladder and worked in Siemens Information Systems, handling business development in South Africa. Before joining Continental, Latha was a part of Robert Bosch Engineering and Business Solutions, where she was responsible for complete powertrain and electrification domain. Today, Latha is a dynamic business leader with close to 3 decades of experience. She currently heads Technical Center India of Continental. In her role, she is responsible for engineering competence for global and local markets, focusing on automotive technologies that include autonomous mobility and safety, vehicle networking, and information business areas. She likes traveling, and in her spare time, she indulges in cooking, singing. Latha, welcome to Women in Mobility, an initiative by Mobility Outlook.
Thank you, Murli.
Okay. I would like to ask you about the initial days of your career. What are the challenges that you faced?
Okay, so I started my career somewhere in 1992 with BHEL, and I would say that somehow all through these 30 years, I have been working in a male-dominated industry. So I don't know whether it's a challenge or it's an opportunity. I would say it is more of an opportunity because you have good visibility, and then you also have a lot of unexplored territories to explore. And basically, I would see it as a really as an opportunity. But in terms of challenges, sometimes yes, there are. For example, I went to Germany first time in 1995. This was when I was working with Siemens Automotive. And the entire floor, the engineering floor, did not have a single lady. Yeah, so, and most of the people thought that I am a secretary or I'm a finance assistant. So they could not imagine a situation where you have an Indian engineer, a lady coming and working.
Okay.
So sometimes, it just puts you in a situation where you don't feel very comfortable. But at the same time, as I told, it's also an opportunity because, people are much more nicer to you. They give you more opportunities to learn and so on. So that's how it works. But I would say that diversity has progressed much more in the last year. And if you look at an organization like TCI in Continental, we are close to 32% diversity. So things have changed. There are a lot of challenges, but it's also an opportunity.
No, but you said no, only one engineer in the entire floor. How did you get motivated to work more, to convert all the challenges into an opportunity?
Okay, the number one thing is I think I would be indebted to my parents because they always brought me up gender neutrally. I was, even though I come from a very conservative family, I was never told not to do this because I'm a lady.
Okay.
So that I think was the first. So gender was never a topic at home. And I think I never bring gender to work. Yeah. But at the same time, when you are one, sometimes you feel that you want to discuss certain topics and other things. You don't have certain opportunities. But at the same time, when I went from India, I was the only lady. People also, took a lot of care. They valued diversity. They valued the diverse view on the table. That was an opportunity.
Okay. So, in spite of being a male-dominated industry that you worked, you were able to manage because of the brought up and from your parents what you learned.
Yeah, that's one part. And second thing is that I strongly believe that what you deliver and your competencies, your hard work, and the attitude that you bring to the work, that is what matters in an organization than gender.
Okay.
And this is what I normally tell my next generation also, that you need to keep this in mind and never bring the gender topic.
When you are growing in the leadership value chain, you need to take calls, decisions. Has there been any instance where your decision has made or created some severe impact on someone or some women or somebody?
I would say there are positive steps which I have done throughout my journey. In one of my previous organizations, I started the Women's Network. We never had a Women's Network. So we started the Women's Network. I personally sat and wrote down the part-time policy. There were no part-time policies. Then we looked at different policies for women on maternity. But now I'm talking 20 years back.
20 years, okay.
Yeah, so we brought in different policies for it. We actually went and searched different creche nearby, and how we can enable women. So I think there are a lot of activities which I participated where I have empowered women, enabled women, and I coach people. I'm a certified coach. Even before that, every year I choose at least 3 women to coach or mentor.
Okay.
And that is my give back. That is my give back from the learning.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I try to do.
Okay. You had to take decisions, I told, it can be, or you can be very strict, or you can be a bit flexible, or mix of both. Because you, as a lady, when you want to engage with people, you have to have a different kind of approach. What kind of approach you had?
So I would say it is situational. I can be very stern, very strict when it comes to certain topics, but at the same time, when it comes to the human angle, I'm very human and I'm very flexible. So I operate in, I would say, both the spectrums depending on the need. But business comes first. But I also keep people at the center of the business, because then only you can excel.
Okay. So of late, now the new generation, the Gen Z and the millennials, their approach is completely different. But you come from with 30 years of experience, and how do you understand their requirements and then extract work from them?
Okay, number one is that I have got a 2007 born at home, my daughter. I would say she is my biggest reverse mentor, whether it comes to Instagram or how to communicate, how to handle rebels, yeah, and even to look at what are the aspirations. And this new generation, I really like them because a lot of them are purpose driven. And so I think if you're able to get into their hearts, bringing that purpose in mind, I think it works. And in Conti, I have chosen a reverse mentor. I have a reverse mentor who's around 5 years experience. And we have a lot of coffee sessions together, and he also gives me some insights on how exactly I can make the communication better, how I can get feedback from people. So this is also something which I'm integrating now. Because if you look at TCI, the average age is 31 years. And if I take a decision, I think it has to be applicable to all. The other topic is that when we are doing certain workshops now, I consciously have a millennial with us in the workshop. So that we also get, it's not only the seasoned leaders, but we also get a very different view from the organization, especially topics related to human resources, policies, and so on. We are trying to do that.
Yeah. In the society in general, women empowerment is still on paper in many industrial segments. What do you think are the impediments for them to break the glass ceiling for the industry?
Number one, I don't believe there is a glass ceiling.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is a myth, and it is a self-limiting belief, I would call it. So, so empowerment, there is a lot of empowerment which is available, but it's the question is that are you asking for it? Yeah, are you demanding for it? Are you asking for it? And are you finding the right opportunities? The best thing to have is, like, for example, if you have a coach or a mentor at a senior level, it really helps because you can get certain pointers. But if you ask me in the 30 years whether I have been denied opportunities because I'm a lady, I would tell no. But then I took the courage sometimes to ask, stand up and ask for opportunities. I can give you a classic example. I was in sales and marketing for some time. At that point of time, I took a transition from project management and I wanted to get into sales. So I went and asked, can I get a change to sales? And the concerned person told me that what experience you have on sales. So I told him I'm willing to learn. Then the thing is that as a lady, you can't travel. I told no, that's not your call. I can travel. Yeah. So then he gave me an assignment where I was posted in Johannesburg for a couple of years. I took it. I moved baggage. I moved there and I took this opportunity and I really learned sales. So I think there are opportunities, but if I had not gone up and told specifically that I'm ready for an assignment or I can take it up. So this is something which we lack sometimes. This communication of what is your aspiration, what is it that you want to learn, what are the risks that you are willing to take. I think we, take it for granted that the other party knows it.
Correct.
So I think if you do that, I think it helps. At the same time, I would say the organizations have to be really conscious and we have to put the D&I policies in place. More than that, the leadership has to walk the talk. It is not only a target or a quota of having certain percentage, but we really have to walk the talk, show examples where we are, giving people equal opportunities and not having any quota systems. I think this is very important. and also give them chances to demonstrate their competences. And
absolutely.
we also have a lot of dropouts, especially women who are in between 35 plus, which are the cream. We have dropouts. So what can we do to enable them to stay with an organization? What policies can we do? How can we facilitate them? I think these things have to be really thought about, and that is the empowerment. And also challenge them sometimes on the self-limiting beliefs which they have.
How is it going here at the Tech Center in Continental?
Yeah, I would say pretty good. As I mentioned, we have 32%. But if you ask me, is that good enough? No, we can do much better. And we have a lot of initiatives now. We have a WeLead program, which is done all India level. This is basically to look at the young talent, groom them. We are introducing a lot of trainings for women, and there are a lot of conversations, lectures, everything that happen very often from the senior leaders in the industry. So Prashant is supporting, so I put my bit, Ajay is doing. So all of us are really committed to make it happen. So a lot of initiatives which are happening is Conti, I would say in a very positive way that it is helping us.
Okay, great. Your work calls for a lot of travel. And then meetings here, there, and all. How do you strike a balance between work and life?
If you ask me, there is nothing called work-life balance.
Okay.
My belief is that it is a work-life integration.
Wow.
So how do you integrate work to life and life to work is the point. And the first topic for me is that how do I enroll my family into my work? Yeah, and how do I do the reverse? For example, I have a teenage daughter, 15-year-old, and I have a husband who is also traveling. So the question is that, do they feel it is important for us as a family that I work? And what does it bring into the family? What is the self-respect, the self-esteem? What are the experiences that I bring into my next generation? So that I think is important. And that I have done more or less from the time my child is 3 years. She is very proud of the fact that I'm working. I think normally children are the main stakeholders.
Correct.
They are the ones who will tell Mama, don't go to work tomorrow, right?
Correct.
So that's something which I have done. And then I really don't believe that 8 hours is work, 8 hours is family. That kind of compartmentalization is not possible when you grow higher. So that mindset is gone. As I told, it's only integration, it's not about balance. But I do find time for my own passions. I do find enough time.
You are passionate about traveling, then cooking and reading, right?
Yeah, reading, a little bit of music. So, I mean, I find time. I never complain that I don't have time. So I think the family also don't feel that I don't have time. So I try to integrate these things. And the good part is that now we have a lot of mechanisms, video calls and many things like that where you can stay connected. So I think it is fine. The whole thing is about educating and enrolling them to the journey which you want to undertake.
What is your message for the youngsters?
I would say that aim big. The other thing is be consistent. And there is no substitute for hard work. It is not smart work. It is a lot of hard work also. And also communicate and always challenge your self-limiting beliefs and be a better avatar for yourself, every day.
Every day.
Every day. And the benchmark never should be somebody else. For me, the benchmark is never somebody else. The benchmark is what I want to do better tomorrow. And I think that helps.
That's great. Your vision for the new mobility, the electric, hydrogen, etc.
Okay, if you look at it, there are 5 particular topics that is driving mobility. So I would call it EXI, which is electrified, automated, shared, connected. And the most important one is yearly updated, like the telephone. Now I think the automobile has become some kind of a gadget, right, where it is getting yearly updated. So which means that the technologies which were existing in the automobile industry in the past, that does not hold good. That alone will not hold good in the future. So we see a lot of things which are coming, the core engineering remaining the same. And on top of it, as icing on the cake, now we have AI, 5G, IoT, data, augmented reality, a lot of topics coming in, cloud, edge computing, blockchain. But these are technologies which are coming up in a big way, and this will define the transformation of mobility. And from mobility as a service, I think we are moving to an era of life, the lifestyle as a service. And mobility will play a very important role because lifestyle as a service is nothing but it's a superset of mobility as a service. And by 2040, that is where the world is going to, which means that we should be prepared with all these new technology, and we can't do it alone. And the industry has changed, that we have new business models, new collaboration models. So we should also be open to look at co-creating through collaboration and be more open to changes in the industry.
More open to changes. Thank you, Latha. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time
Thank you,
talking to women in mobility. Thank you so much
for the opportunity.
Thank you.